It's time to introduce our guests, right? We're happy and proud to have the special presence of a nice guest who's joining us all the way from Malaysia. Sir has taken out some time. He's here on special request. People love him for the work that he has done and is still doing at this age. Hats off to his resilience, hats off to his energy levels. That's what I'd love to say. I'll not keep you waiting. I'd love to introduce my guest today on the International Fab Talks to all of you. He's none other than Dr. Nathan, lovingly called as Dr. Nathan. He is a senior scientist and a retired professor. Let's get to know about his journey and what is he going to share today with us to enlighten us to be healthy, fit, and always smiling, right? Hello, sir, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much, Dr. Nathan, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you very much for welcoming me.
Doctor, thank you, Dr. Nathan. Thank you so much for being here with us. Dr. Nathan, many of our viewers, the known and the unknown viewers, would love to know something more about you. I just mentioned that you are a senior scientist and a retired professor, but people would love to know more about you. If you could just brief a bit about yourself, about your achievements and professional journey.
Okay, I'm a Malaysian, born in Malaysia, but my parents came from India, Tanjore in India. So I'm the first generation. And I finished my high school here. Then I went to St. Joseph's College, Trichinopoli, to finish my bachelor's degree and master's degree. So subsequently, I went to New Zealand. I did my plant science and plant biotechnology in St. Joseph's College. Eventually, I went to New Zealand to do what they call forest pathology and microbiology. So I'm basically a tree doctor. So I go into the forest, I look at the tree, and I can tell you whether it's healthy or not healthy, and so on and so forth. So I was there for 10 years in New Zealand. So I worked there as an associate professor there. Then eventually I came back to Malaysia because my roots are here and my parents say, come back to this country because Malaysia is still a beautiful country. If you have not visited, you should come and visit us. So I started off as a research scientist in the ASEAN Institute of Plant Quarantine, and we were screening all import products coming from all over the world, whether it's turf or whether it's plants, or we were the first line of defense to prevent any insects or disease coming into the country. So I was with them for 15 years. Then eventually I joined the Faculty of Forestry as a forest pathologist, for which I was trained. Then eventually after retirement, I went into health and wellness. So I studied probiotics, which is part of microbiology, and I had the opportunity of going to Japan because this product that we are marketing currently comes from Japan. So the Japanese are very dedicated and very meticulous in what they do. So this is called microbiome. Microbiome is a good bacteria. I give you a good example. When a baby is born through the mother's birth canal, the vagina of women are colonized by lactobacillus acidophilus. So the first contact of a baby, good bacteria comes from the mother's birth canal. And when the mother breastfeeds the child, the mother gives a good bacteria to the child called Bifidobacteria infantis. So bacteria is part and parcel of our life. Every culture, yogurt, in Korea they got kimchi, in Japan they got natto, so in India and Korea and many places they got a lot of yogurt. But the only problem is we take it in small quantities, insufficient to colonize our gut flora, because our gut is consists of 4 pounds of bacteria, good flora. So when the good bacteria is low, then your immune system is down. You tend to fall sick and things like that. So it is very important that we keep the good bacteria going. Like, of course, the supplements are available in the market, but they cost money. So I always tell my students or my participants, take yogurt. The Bulgarians take yogurt, but they take 3 or 4 mugs a day, one day. Morning one, afternoon one, evening. You need large quantities for the good bacteria to be effective. And in Bulgaria, they ferment their own probiotics and things like that. There's a lady called Natasha Tranov. She's a Yugoslav, and she lived in US for 7 generations. And all they do is manufacture yogurt, and they export it all over the world. And she says, good bacteria is the first line of defense. If you got good bacteria or good flora in your gut, your body is prevented. Now we have Alzheimer, we have Parkinson's, we get all sorts of health issues. I believe, because I am 84 now, I've been in probiotics for more than 35 years, and I've been to Japan. I worked with the professor in Yokohama University, and I believe that the missing link is the good bacteria. Of course, many doctors may not believe me, but I'm 84 and I'm still okay. Of course, I've got a few health problems, but I can still manage on my own, and I'm comparatively quite healthy yet for my age. So I will recommend, and then to be able to maintain the good bacteria, you must take more plant-based diet. So we say multicolored salads. So if people are very old and they're not able to chew, I always tell them put it in a blender and drink it as a slurry. Because to chew vegetables, sometimes it can be a bit difficult for old people. But make sure your salads are multicolored. So like dragon fruit is red, kiwi fruit is green. So the different colors. So it's very important, different colors. And if you go look at in Taiwan, there's a very strong group called raw food therapy. Say you got cancer, you got any problem, they believe that if you take sufficient amount of raw food, you will be healthy. Because I always tell my students, in the jungle, there's no hospital. The carnivorous animal eats the meat without cooking, and their intestines are 12 feet long. So when they eat the meat, the fecal matter comes out within 12 hours. The human being, the system is, our gastrointestinal system, intestine is 35 feet long. So if we eat a lot of meat and all that, it goes and gets entangled into our body. So one of the very fundamental issues of good health is how many times you go to the washroom or to move your bowel. If you say once, Dr. Bernard Jensen says, okay, but we're eating 3 meals a day. You need to move your bowel at least twice a day. And if you're not doing that, that means you're insufficient of good bacteria or what we call probiotic. So I always tell people, take yogurt if you can. If you believe in the Korean thing, take kimchi. If you believe in the Japanese one, take natto. Natto is a bit of an acquired taste. It's a bit strong. So if you're not very familiar, you may not like the texture. So yogurt is the best. Because yogurt, they got flavored yogurt. Preferably try not too much sugar. You can probably get fresh yogurt, add some fruits and maybe some honey, and make it a delicious breakfast or snack in between. You see? So very, very important. Diet is very fundamental in human health. So in India also, there's a lot of diabetes and all sorts of health issues. So basically, the diet problem is a big issue because generally, like I was in South India myself, they give you 3 big helpings of rice for lunch. I call it 3 mountains. So it's all carbohydrate. If you're not a farmer, you are not burning, cut down your carbohydrate. If you're a farmer, no problem. You can have 3 helpings, go back to the field, you burn your calories, then it's not an issue. But if you're not, you eat according to what your work is. If you're an office guy sitting in a computer room and all that, then make sure your carbohydrate is considered to be basic minimum, like 1 scoop of rice, then try and take more vegetables and all that. I'm not a vegetarian myself. I try to take more fish if I can. Fish has got omega-3. So the Japanese believe in fish, with the brain food. So that is very fundamental. Eh? And going back to human health, if you look at the women, the vagina of the women, then the anus of the women, the vagina, urethra, they're all very close by. So if the woman has got unhealthy bacteria in the gastrointestinal system, so I've got a friend who is a gynecologist, and he says, he tells her mothers to teach, especially in the non-Indians, they use a lot of tissue paper. So he says, don't wipe forward, you wipe backwards. If you wipe forward, you're bringing the fecal matter forward, so you can infect the vagina or the urethra. Like if you're, the best thing is to use soap and wash after you use the washroom, see, you know. So these are some of the fundamentals. So these bad bacteria, unhealthy bacteria, can cause endometriosis. Endometriosis is the swelling of the uterus. So women must be very careful. And then a lot of women get white discharge, yellow discharge. And this is actually caused by fungus called yeast. There are two types of yeast. One is called Saccharomyces, it's a good yeast, and the other yeast is called Candida. Candida is not a good yeast. The Candida is what produces the white discharge and yellow discharge in women generally, you know. So when the woman has sex with a partner, she complains of a lot of irritation and pain because it's a lot of inflammation. You see? So they have to treat the yeast, and to treat the yeast, you have to take good probiotics or yogurt. Like there are cases we have gynecologists that even advise women to insert a probiotic into the vagina so that it will go there and colonize and disrupt, because the vagina is colonized by Lactobacillus acidophilus. So when the Lactobacillus acidophilus is not there, the yeast comes in. Like the good guys and the bad guys. You don't have many policemen, then the gangsters come in. So the bodies are safe. So if you don't take care of your body, then you get unwanted bacteria and yeast and all these coming. So yeast is a very big topic by itself. Yeast causes 20 over types of diseases and abnormalities in human beings. So that's a topic by itself. We can talk on another day. Yeast syndrome, we call it. So because yeast produces more than 60 types of toxins. And the thing is, yeast is not studied in a medical school because it is not a pathogen. It is a kind of fungus that lingers in the system, which medically the doctors don't study and spend much time on it. So, but yeast is very important. So how do you control the yeast? Is good diet. Cut down sugar. Sugar is one of the biggest killers in our society. Whether you're diabetic or no, try to cut down sugar. Like there is a plant called stevia. Stevia is actually a good substitute for sugar. The worst is using sucrose, glucose, fructose. So if you really want sweet, add honey, good quality honey. Then it sweetens whatever drink you're taking. So remember, you must tell your friends, whoever they are, like even children, you look at obesity all over the world, because they are very sweet things, sugar. I mean, they take ice cream and all these, people don't even realize what they're eating. You look at our culture, our society, like you take the Indians, come Deepavali or something, the laddu, the jalebi and all that. Look at the sugar content. It's quite frightening. So that's why they say India is a time bomb for diabetes. Because and all these festivals, I went to Delhi one day and I saw this beautiful cart with a lot of sweet things. So many sweet cakes, they look so pretty, attractive. So I bought one of each in a box and it was so sweet, I couldn't eat more than one or two pieces because it's too sweet, sugar. But you can eat them provided you burn them. You burn your calories. You must exercise. So sometimes my friends are waiting to take the lift. I said, take the stairs. Walk up the stairs, 2 or 3 floors. That is exercise for the day. It burns the calories. So park your car far away under a tree and walk to the shop or supermarket. That is exercise. So you must look at the way, a lot of people say, Doc, I don't have time to exercise. So I said, no, you must find a way and a method to exercise by walking or washing your car, do some gardening. You don't have to go to a gym, buy Adidas shoes and spend a lot of money. No, you just do the natural, do a lot of weeding, gardening, all the simple washing your car. That is a simple form of exercise. You must be creative and innovative to be healthy. So you look at everything as an opportunity. So although I'm talking about probiotics, but it's all linked with so many other things. We call it microbiome. So when people take a lot of good bacteria, be it yogurt or natto or kimchi or whatever it is, generally their health is good. But again, the important thing is sugar content. Make sure whether you're diabetic or no, cut down as minimum as possible. If possible, use some honey or some like stevia. Stevia in India also, they have the stevia leaves. You put one leaf and you boil it, it's more sweeter than sugar. So basically, and then a lot of greens. When you're hungry, get a cucumber. Here we have the Japanese cucumber. It's called like a telegraph cucumber. You just wash it and you can just eat it. You don't really have to peel the skin. So your celery, take a stick of celery, wash it, you can eat it. A lot of vegetables can be eaten raw, but like, this, what do you call, yogurt. You make yogurt, then you cut some celery, you put there, you cut some tomatoes, put some onions, put some garlic. Garlic is very powerful. I have a doctor friend who recommends 3 pieces of garlic to his patients because garlic has got antimicrobial properties. In the lab, we put 1 drop of garlic juice, no bacteria will come near because the bacterial juice has got antibiotics. So when you consume 3 cloves of garlic every day, the beauty about garlic and all that, they produce natural antibiotics that only removes the unwanted bacteria, not the good bacteria. So that is nature. Nature has created it such a way. So in that sense, we can talk about diet, health, lifestyle, exercise. As I told you, I've got a lot of friends who got cancer, so I recommend take a lot of juicing, a lot of greens, multicolored. In Malaysia, there's a fruit called soursop. It's very fundamental. It's not space science. You're what you eat. I tell all my students, they say, Doc, you're 84, you don't look your age. I say, you're what you eat. And always be positive and try to help people as much as you can because and I believe in prayers. You pray a lot and God helps you in so many ways. So fundamental in our life is you look around, everything is green. And as I told you, in the jungle, there's no hospital. So animals don't fall sick because they eat all natural. I gave a talk in one of the specialist medical centers. So one of the doctors said, Doc, vegetarian has no strength because human beings are so used to taking chicken, fish, meat, and we call it protein. So we think we need protein. So I projected a picture of an elephant on the wall. And I told Doc, elephant is a vegetarian and he's the strongest animal in the world. But he doesn't cook his greens, eats it raw. Look at the giraffe. Giraffe also eats raw. The whale is also a vegetarian, eats all the seaweeds and all that. So if you look all over the world, the strongest animals in the world are all vegetarians, whether we like it or not. So what I'm saying is, we do a course for medical doctors called nutritional medicine. So one of the courses is, first thing is exercise. Exercise every day, at least 20 minutes. Wash your car, do some gardening, anything you want to do. Secondly is, make sure you drink enough water. 1 glass every hour, so at least 8 glasses a day if you can. Then number 3 is a balanced diet. Balanced diet, 50% should be plant-based, 50% should be a fish or chicken, whatever you like. At my age, 80% is plant-based because I give the body what the body needs, not what my palate needs. My palate says, oh, I like some seafood, I like some chicken, but the body requires good plant-based diet to be healthy. So try and, at my age, I said, I've tasted everything, so let me eat what the body requires, let me be healthy, because health is wealth. So one of the fundamentals, you're what you eat. So I always tell people, and as I told you, exercise, water. So it's not space science, it's so fundamental to be healthy. But so before you eat, if you look at the plate in front of you, and before you, like we have a dish like chapati, we call it roti chana in Malaysia, and it's got a lot of oil and all that. So if you have no choice, you got no food, you can take that because of no choice. Ideally, idli is one of the best because it's steamed. Suppose it's the best breakfast in the world. And they give you the coconut chutney and the dal. So it's the best of its kind. Dosa is okay, but they do put a little bit of oil on the hot plate and they fry it because dosa has got the black beans. They call it ulundu. So that one also is okay. So, in fact, Indian food is one of the best in the world because our kitchen is a gold mine. Look at all the spices in the kitchen. Every spice is a gold mine, whether it's cloves or cinnamon or pepper, whatever, everything. So there are also 5 spice mixed. So they do sell these spices in powder form. So you can add it to. So I'm basically of Indian origin. So I believe to eat more Indian food, whether I like it. We have this thali dish in Malaysia. If you go to an Indian restaurant, they give you 8 little dishes of vegetables and yogurt and rasam and all that, and they give you a scoop of rice as well. But if you want fish, you can order fish, or you want chicken, you can. So that is one of my favorite dishes because it is very healthy and you know very balanced. And if you take what do you call we call it bayam or spinach is green. You take carrot is red, tomato is kind of orange. So when you go to supermarket or night market, I always tell my students buy your fruits and vegetables by color. I studied plant science in India for 6 years. So every plant has got different nutrients, amino acids, and vitamins. So your diet must be multicolored. And when you can make it like this raita is good, you get yogurt, you put a little bit of cucumber, garlic, onion, you cut it up, mince it, tomatoes and all that, and that's a meal by itself. And you can have it every day because the yogurt itself is fantastic, it's a probiotic. So actually, food is not an issue at all. I mean, if you're aware, you got to be aware of what you eat. I mean, occasionally your friend comes, you want to go for some nice biryani or something. It's not an issue. But make sure the next meal is a balanced meal and a healthy meal. So when you eat something like in Malaysia, we have a dish called bakute. Bakute is a soup that the Chinese make out of pork, and it's also very popular. It's a morning dish and all that. Of course, they have some mushrooms and all that. So I tell my Chinese friends, if you take bakute in the morning, make sure afternoon plenty of salads. You already had loads of meat in the morning, so afternoon try and take more vegetables and to compensate, because if you come to Malaysia, it's a haven for food because you will never find any other country that has food like Malaysia. Very affordable. We have a dish in the morning called nasi lemak. It's actually rice cooked in coconut milk with some anchovies, some peanut, and half an egg. And you can buy a small packet for 2 ringgit in Malaysia, which is probably 50 cents US. Or you can buy the same dish for 5 or 10 US dollars in a 5-star hotel. So our food can be very affordable or can be very expensive, depends where you eat. So we have to use our discretion when we go out. We want to have a good meal, then make sure we enjoy the meal by eating correctly. So a lot of my children are all youngsters, they don't like a lot of salad. So we got all the vegetables that come to my plate. They say, pass it to dad. So I said, okay, give it to me. I'll eat because the youngsters, they like to go for this fast foods and they go to sausage and all these things. So I have no complaint. I said, give it to me, I'll take. Because they're still young, so their body can afford to take a lot of this so-called fast food or unhealthy food. But as they age, they will feel the difference. So if you can teach your children, so I always tell a lot of people, where if I'm a politician, I will include nutrition in primary school. I will teach the children from young age how to eat healthy. Take a lot of fruits, vegetable, like Singapore. They teach the children anti-litter law. So when they eat a sweet, they will ask you, uncle, where is the rubbish bin? They will look for the rubbish bin because they know the law is very strict. If you throw it on the street, you can be fined, no objection. But teach the right values to people. How to eat healthy, respect the elderly, very important. So these are some of the very fundamental issues. I hope I've given you a pretty good introduction. If you have any questions, anything, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was really a very, very interesting session. Thank you for taking out the time and the patience to explain all of
It's a
that.
pleasure to share my knowledge. At 84, at least I am able to share my knowledge with people, and I feel very happy.
And thank you so much. I think there's a lot to learn from you. What we should learn is to have no ego, to be very humble, to be very down to earth,
Correct,
and
correct.
connect with people.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
God bless. God bless. Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Thank you so much. We look forward to many more interactions with you. I'd love to know your story, your journey. How you started and how till date you're here. That would be a
Sure.
very good motivation for all the youngsters, including me.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for today's session.
definitely. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the assistance. Thank you so much. So, dear friends, we sum up now. If you like what we are doing on the International Fab Talks, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks for more. And we promise to bring Dr. Nathan once again on the platform to share much more and empower us in the right way.